Okay, so Vic Fangio has one final solution to fix the cornerback 2 spot, but if we do it, there's no going back. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles get great news before they take on the biggest opponent of the season that could low key determine the NFC. So much to break down, including Jeff Lurie himself stepping in about the AJ Brown situation. Plus, we hear from two of his teammates that say it's okay. One of them jokes around and talks about 15 people already told Kevin Patullo to get the ball to AJ Brown. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you still rock with the 7-2 Eagles, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So as the Eagles get ready to host the Detroit Lions in Philly at the Link Sunday night in a big NFC showdown, which is really important not only because what Amon-Ra St. Brown said in the offseason on his podcast, there's a lot of reasons this game is very important, starting with the fact that this probably is our toughest test of the season, but most importantly, a loss to the Lions means we'd be giving up the number one spot in the NFC. We would have the same record as the Lions, but a half a game under them because they beat us. As for the other 7-2 teams on the screen, the Seahawks and the Rams, they play each other. And the game is at 1 o'clock, so we will know what transpires there before we even play the Lions. Sliding down to the Buccaneers, they got the Bills. I'm just trying to gain as much of a lead on all these teams, even the teams we already beat, simply because we're past the halfway point, still got a tough schedule, and I just want to have some space down the home stretch. That being said, the Eagles being home for this game with everything going on, I believe is so important, and I do think it helps our chances. These are the jerseys we will be rocking at home. Nothing fancy, just a good old midnight green for our home crowd. I also seen today that the Eagles' honorary captain for Sunday night matchup is none other than Super Bowl champion Michael Kendricks. It's always good for them primetime matchups to have a former champion in the house. We just could feed off it. Another thing to be excited about is Thursday's injury report, as everybody was a full practice, minus Cam Jurgens, who was limited, but every single member of the 53-man roster was out there Thursday getting it in. As I said yesterday, when almost all the offensive linemen were limited participants, that was a good sign because that made me think that they were low-key resting them, not fully, but a little bit because of the short week and playing the Detroit Lions. And the fact that Cam Jurgens didn't practice at all last week and was limited on Wednesday and now is Thursday, I believe he's going to be good to go. That means the Eagles will have their starting offensive line for the first time in a while. And it comes in at the perfect time because the Detroit Lions are fourth in the NFL in sacks. And like we talked about yesterday, they've been showing some crazy looks to try to get pressure on the quarterback. Every time they ran this, a different person either dropped back or blitzed in. We are going to need one of our best performances from our Eagles offensive line, which is led by Lane Johnson, who, when he was in the game versus the Packers, obliterated Micah Parsons. Listen to Baldy just break down how Lane Johnson gets off the ball before people even move.
If you want to see the most consistent and amazing thing about Lane Johnson, watch this start. Nobody else has moved. Nobody. Lane's the only one that has moved. The ball is snapped. Toth has snapped the ball. Parsons isn't off on yet. But when you get that kind of a start, now you're in a settled position. Now all you got to do is just contact point, balls out to A.J. Brown, nice throw. Nobody has a faster start in this league than Lane Johnson. And it's consistent. It's on the road and go pack go kind of noise.
And no, it's not a false start. As Baldy said, the ball's been snapped. Lane Johnson's get off is just next level. I'm just glad he's going to be out there to try to slow down Aiden Hutchinson and whatever Detroit throws at him. Once again, sorry about the delay for the November 1st jersey giveaway. I've been busy, but we finally made it. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Mind you, these are the October games. The Packers game is in a December jersey giveaway, so there will be more opportunities. Let's see who the November winner is. Drum roll, please. Michael Fisher just won a jersey of his choice. Congratulations once again. You can hit me up on Twitter and or comment on this video. Once we exchange emails and I know it's really you, we'll go about getting you any jersey, any color you want. Like I said, congratulations. Now, before we break down more as it pertains to the Eagles and Lions matchup on both sides of the ball, Vic Fangio said some interesting things today during his presser. Let's start with him being asked about the new cornerback on the block, Michael Carter II.
Yeah, I think he's a good nickel. That's his best position, and he's learning the nuances of our defense. Different for him compared to Jalen. Everything's totally new for him. Plus, there's more to learn. But like him, and if we need another nickel, he's going in.
Sheesh. Vic Fangio must have seen enough tape and or him at practice to know that he's automatically the best backup nickel. Now, he didn't speak as much as Howie Roseman did about him playing safety, but I do want to keep that in the back of our minds for Michael Carter II. However, he could be our starting nickel sooner than you think once you hear one of the next questions. But let me set it up on why I think it's a legit possibility. And it starts with Vic Fangio being asked about Adoree Jackson, not just his play, but are you surprised he's still able to start for you?
No, I'm not really surprised. He's a survivor. I think this is his 9th or 10th year. So if you've survived that long, you got a little something in you. And hopefully he can take that game, build on it, and keep playing good.
How could he be surprised with Keely Ringo and an injured Jacorian Bennett behind Adoree Jackson? I will say, Fangio calling him a survivor, saying he's been in the league for 9 or 10 years, that means he got to have a little bit something left in the tank, is hilarious. That's the nicest thing he can really say about him. But he did say maybe he can build off the Green Bay game. Still, though, that just shows you where Vic Fangio's confident level is, and it's not high at anybody on the cornerback 2 position, because when asked about Jacorian Bennett, even though he already called him incomplete because we haven't seen much from him, John McMullen asked how he's been the 3 days back from IR.
Still to say, I don't think you truly know anybody, particularly a corner, until you're out there where there's a scoreboard. And so it's kind of feel the same, but optimistic, but the same.
Nobody asked about Keely Ringo, and rightfully so. So survivor / a little bit something for Adoree Jackson, and optimistic for Jacorian Bennett, although he hasn't been healthy. Which leads us to Fangio being asked, since you guys acquired Michael Carter II, could we end up seeing something like him starting at the nickel and Cooper DeJean full-time outside corner?
Possibly. Yep.
And it's simple what can actually end up making this happen.
Just that the play out there is not good enough.
All it takes is one day for Vic Fangio to lose faith in Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, and Jacorian Bennett, and he might make the switch. MC2 in the slot, Coop and Quinion outside, and we go the rest of the season like that. And if there's a game that could really make Vic Fangio second guess the revolving door at cornerback 2, it's the Detroit Lions, who have plenty of weapons. Flipping over to one of the Eagles' weapons that needs to start being utilized. I'm talking about A.J. Brown. John Clark tweeted today at Eagles practice, Big Dom got Eagles owner Jeffery Lurie and A.J. Brown together, and it looked like they had a very good conversation about A.J.'s frustration, and they all want the offense to be better. Jeff Lurie's involved. KP, you better get it right. As for what Kevin Patullo said at his press conference, I'm not even going to play it. He says the same thing over and over. However, when asked about the frustration of A.J. Brown, he says their relationship is good. They talk all the time, blah, 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 blah. He said he knows he got to get the ball to 11, 26, 6, and 88 in that order. But honestly, it's been backwards. Who cares? Get him all the ball and feature A.J. throughout the game. It's not that hard, bro. He also talked about us having too many 3-and-outs, said some dumb stuff. I got to see difference before I listen to the same thing over and over again. But what I really paid attention to is when they asked him, why does he continue to run the ball on 3rd and long? And he said, well, this one was situational. This one was because of penalties and backed up and blah, 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 blah. He mainly said, remember when we got a 3rd and 20 versus the Jaguars? It could happen again. But also, if you throw the ball, it's a better chance for a 3rd and long to be converted, especially when your quarterback is one of them ones. NFL stats, best passer rating on 3rd down this season, minimum 50 attempts. Jalen Hurts, 111.2, Jared Goff, 108.8, Drake May, 105.2, Caleb Williams, 103.2, and Sam Darnold, 103.1. So yeah, 3rd and long, let's just hand the ball off where we couldn't run all year long and not let Jalen and the wide receivers cook. Them could be targets for A.J. Brown. Woosa. 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 Let's look at the Lions defense versus the Eagles offense. Lions defense ranks 7th overall, only allowing 294 yards per game, where the Eagles offense ranks 23rd overall, averaging 303.2. Moving down to the pass defense for the Lions, which ranks 14th, only allowing 220.7 per game, where the Eagles pass offense ranks 24th, averaging 206.7 via the air. Lastly, the Lions rush defense ranks 8th, allowing only 94.3 yards on the ground, where the Eagles run game ranks 21st, only averaging 111.6. We all know what's going on, and the offense is going to have to come out with one of their better performances to not only stay with the Lions offense, but look at where they rank on defense. This is a good defense. Brian Branch in the secondary is no joke. Like I said earlier, they're 4th in sacks in the NFL. And with them being better versus the run, do not ever not run the ball with Saquon Barkley at all. But I think you got to favor the pass here. Don't go crazy throwing the ball 40 times in this game, but you're going to have to pass at least 65 to 35 in this game. But again, utilize A.J. Brown. Flipping it over to the Lions offense versus the Eagles defense. Their offense overall ranks 6th, averaging 372.4 yards per game, where the Eagles defense ranks 18th, allowing 327.9 yards per game. Moving down to the Lions passing game, where they rank 10th, averaging 248.7 through the air, where the Eagles pass defense ranks 12th, only allowing 219.9. Lastly, the Lions rush offense is 6th, averaging 136.3 yards on the ground, where the Eagles rush defense ranks 19th, allowing 118.6. The Lions offense is really good. Thank God we're in Philly and not in that dome. Hopefully we can rattle Goff, move him around in the pocket, get him off his spot, make him miss some pass, and maybe throw a couple picks. But what we can't allow is Sonic and Knuckles to start getting loose. They run the ball too good. That's where they start their offense. Then the play action. Then I'm Ross St. Brown. They got the speedster that can get down the field, Jameson Williams. And they even use Sonic out the backfield in the passing game. So to slow him down, it's going to have to start with the pass rush. Jalen Phillips and them boys, rotation. They're going to have to get Goff off their mark. Kobe Dean and Jalen Phillips and all our run stoppers are going to have to gang tackle these two running backs. But last but not least, Fangio's going to have to help out whoever's playing cornerback 2. I know it's going to be Adoree Jackson now, but he's been getting nicked up left and right. Prayers that he don't get hurt. It's going to be a tough game, but if the Eagles come together, I believe when we are on our P's and Q's, nobody can beat us. This game is big in the season and its totality. We're going to be live tomorrow breaking down a little bit more about it with a Lions content creator. That should be fun. But what do you think about this matchup? Let me know in the comment section. Oh, and if you missed yesterday's video, the new play caller for the Lions offense is Dan Campbell. He took over it after they couldn't get more than 24 points in 3 straight games. And you saw what they did to the Commanders. Like 550 yards total offense, 40-plus points. But remember, we are not the Commanders' defense. Lastly, I want you to hear what Saquon Barkley and Jordan Mailata said about the A.J. Brown drama. They got his back. They're not worried about it. And they just want to get better, too.
I don't make anything of it, because I have conversations with AJ. I have conversations with the team. I think, I didn't really I'm kind of off of, it's not Twitter anymore, X, so I don't really know all the stuff that was said, like his response. But, you know, we want to be better as an offense. I don't think he said anything wrong there. Like, we want to be better. We know that we're 7-2, but we are aware that the way we played on Monday, more times than not, that's going to get us beat. But we just got to come up with a mindset of getting better. And no matter if it was 10 points or 40 points, you got to do that anyway. So I don't think it's really anything crazy. I think he was playing a game with a friend. You know, it got caught and someone put it on Bleacher Report or whatever they put it on, and now it's a story for all you guys to do, and you guys are doing your job. But in reality, like in our locker room, that has no factor at all of how we're going to work or how we're practicing or our game plan coming up this week. You know, it's a lot of noise in my opinion, but we're focused on Detroit, and we know we're going to get the best from AJ as a player and a leader.
Respect. And as much as we get mad about any little thing, it's more about how his teammates feel. Now, Jordan Mailata's was funny, but he literally said 15 people are telling Kevin Patullo to get A.J. Brown the ball.
I don't feel that publicly. I don't feel anything. That's just, that's whatever he said is on him, and as his teammate, I can understand his frustrations. I understand his frustrations, but for me, I'm just gonna stay in my lane as an offensive lineman. I'm not gonna, like, if we're not giving the ball to him, okay, how can I affect that? Just go to KP and tell him to get the ball to AJ. That doesn't help anything. That doesn't come up with a solution, you know. So me saying like, yeah, I agree with AJ, we should give him the ball. I would be probably the 15th person in this building telling him the same thing. It's empty. All right, but all I can do is make him feel supported, which I already answered, and so. I don't have anything towards how I feel about AJ. I don't even know honestly, I don't even know what he said. What did he say? I'll be honest. I don't know what he said. What did he say?
So the offense can be better, needs to be better, or else they're not going to be able to get to where you want to go, and that he wants to contribute and be a reason why the offense gets to where it can be.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that.
I'm just trying to surmise.
As well as I know AJ, that's all he wants to do, contribute. And we always talk about contribution over credit. That is one of the big sayings in the past couple months. And so I think that's where AJ's coming from. It's just all about, you know, it actually helped me answer that question because I actually didn't know. I was just sitting here like filibustering. Okay, what did he say?
You're pretty good.
Yeah, I think he just wants, that's just it. I think for him, he just wants to feel like he contributed to the win. And so as an offense, we've got to get the ball rolling, but as an offensive lineman, there's not much more I can do other than, you know, again, like I said, I'd be the 15th person to go to KP and say, get the ball to AJ? Okay, how? Well, first, do your job and block. That's what he'd say to me. All right, so we can get the ball. So that's what I'm going to worry about. Just doing my job. And so if I can block, if we can hold up so Jalen can get through his reads and get the ball to AJ, and that's one thing that's one step forward than last week.
With all that being said, I got nothing more to say about it. I love y'all to death. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the videos, the live streams. We'll be live for the play-by-play going crazy since it's the best game of the season. Also, do me a favor and drop a comment. I absolutely love hearing from you. I try to answer back as many as possible. And until next time, you know what time it is. We out.